We're at the unveil of the Renault MY24 model range, and with us today is the company's CEO, Venkatram M. Venkatram, thank you so much for speaking to us and having us here at the launch.
Thank you very much for being here.
First things first, the updated or the refreshed range, I can see you've added essentially features to variants, and from what I've gathered, it's more an enrichment of the lineup.
Yeah.
So if you can tell us very quickly what was the thought behind this exercise?
As we had been saying, as Mr. Lukadimi also had been saying, that value versus volume, and we are adding a lot of value to the consumer, and there are a lot of features, whether it's tech or performance, as well as the premiumness, which we are bringing to all together for our customers, and that's the whole idea. And still, we did a lot of exercise internally for last 1 year to control the costs which are coming out of the purchase material as well as the engineering, and with great efforts, and thanks to the purchasing team as well as our engineering team, that we are able to manage our costs and pass the benefit to the consumer. So that's the whole intent, with added value to it and added safety, which is more critical for us. And no matter what regulations are, we are still on with the safety standard as a hygiene, and will continue to do so.
Right. And speaking of added value, one thing is, let's say the Kiger, a fairly new model, but your Kwid, it's been around since 2015, if I'm not mistaken, 2014. And when will we see the updates in terms of next generations or a massive facelifts coming? Is that on the cards as well?
Currently, at this point of time, we are trying to keep this model as is, because there are only 3 cars in the market and 2 players, and we want to continue keeping A segment car for good time of period, as long as the regulatory issues do come into picture. When the regulation comes, then we have to review the whole sequence of A segment. Till then, we will continue this, but as of now, we don't have a plan of bringing it at phase 3 or the next gen Kwid for India as yet.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that we will not bring it. But today, the plan doesn't exist, but we'll continue to have this model in the marketplace.
But actually, it's an interesting thing that you said, because affordability of cars is kind of moving away from the entry point, and it's good, like you said, just 2 players in the entry level space. Do you think that the regulations are pushing things away from a lower price point, and how much of a challenge is that?
Obviously, regulations do add value, and there are price points where you have to manage and you cannot manage. So now with the new regulatories which are coming in, and A segment car is taking a beating for sure, and I don't know how long it will be a sustained market, maybe 2030 till then. And we need to see what best we can be in the marketplace, and regulations define which segment remains in the marketplace, at what cost points or what pressure points we have in the cost.
Right. And how difficult was it? Because for me, one of the very interesting things to see was the fact that I just realized your entire range is below the 10 lakh mark.
Yeah.
They also offer, like you said, safety features like airbags, which are mandated, but then you've got your touchscreen. I think the most affordable touchscreen. Yeah. You've got the most affordable 7-seater automatic, the most affordable automatic as well, hatch. So I think that's commendable, that you all are doing that. But how difficult is it to bring in those kind of premium features? And will we see a premiumization of the range? Like you said, you'll keep it the same, but will you perhaps be doing this?
It's difficult. I'm not saying it is not, but definitely I'm sure, as I said, my engineering team and the purchasing team, they are working very hard to keep the costs in control. That's the result of these MY24, which you see today, at the right cost and the right pricing. And we'll continue to work on the direction, no doubts. And today we are at below 10 lakhs, and we just told you that we will be entering into B plus SUV as well as C SUV, and the EV obviously in the future. So this should help us in premiumizing or taking these cars along with the others in the moving future.
Right. So we will see feature additions, more premium features on this range, which is actually,
Sure.
I think, a good thing. And I know you're not mentioning it, the SUV, the mid-size SUV, we know it as the Duster, right? You guys pretty much kind of kick-started that segment, and we have so many players now today. Back then when the Duster was there, it was just perhaps you and then one or two others. Today there's, over 10 for sure. Do you think it's a challenge for the brand to come back in, or are you confident of this re-entry of Renault into that space that you all pretty much kind of created?
It's an innovation from us in India. So we will continue that. And I don't think we will have any doubts or hesitations in bringing back the models which we are talking about, V plus SUV and C, And we are pretty confident that we will satisfy the customer needs, aspirations, and desires. So it's not just that we are coming with one model, but it is a spectrum of tech which is also coming along with it. And I'm sure that we will be pretty successful with those models.
Right. And Venkat, one last question. I know you've got a busy schedule as well, but with the fuel mix, now you are coming up into a sort of a more premium, like you said, segments. We will have the mid-size SUV, EVs. What's your sort of take on hybrids, strong hybrids? Because you do have that in your international portfolio. So how do you see, let's say, the next 8 to 10 years shaping up in terms of a powertrain strategy at Renault?
See, currently we are having gasoline, and we are working on E20 ethanol, and ethanol will go to E20, E40, E85 as maxing. We are working on that. Ethanol is not new for Renault because we are already adapting in Brazil, so it's an adaptation. EV, we are not new for EV because Renault Paris or Europe is well versed with the EVs, so we are going to get into that. And now comes CNG. We are also working on that direction about the CNG, how we should adapt and where we will be going. So we're having so many multiple fuels. Now hybrid is also in picture, but I don't think that in the announcement which we did on the 5,300 crores, we have anything on the hybrid. But moving forward in the international game plan, maybe we will have, but that is in the framing, so I cannot comment on that as of now.
Sure. And return to diesel perhaps?
I don't know as yet. So we need
Still
to
exploring.
do the framing of
Right.
international game plan 2027.
Correct. Great. So thank you so much for speaking with us, and wish you all the best, and we hope to catch up with you with the Duster perhaps.
Thank you.